What's going on, guys? Welcome into the second episode of the Cup Check, a student union sports production. Today with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Andy Jones and Clemson Carl. We hope you enjoyed the first episode because it was electric. It was fun. Today, we've got a much more interesting show for you. I can promise the second's always better than the first, maybe not with movies, but with sports shows, two's better than one, and that's a fact. Andy, Carl, are you fellas ready to dive deep in here? Get a little nut tap going, fellas?
It's the first week of college football. Hell yes.
Yeah, I got to say, I mean, it's been hot as hell here. I walk to class both ways. I can't really stand the smell of myself, but other than that, I'm doing well. I'm ready.
Is the beginning of college football more exciting because of Swamp Sweat? You know, we're phasing out Swamp Sweat right now because, Swamp Sweat's the beginning of college football, but then you get frozen butt cheeks. So would you actually rather have frozen butt cheeks or Swamp Sweat for college football?
All day.
Swamp ass. I've lived with it for 19 years. I will take it for the rest of my life.
I'm actually all in on Swamp ass as well. So
just to throw it in there, I lived with Swamp Sweat for the first 22 years of my life. I'm from New Jersey. Coming down to Clemson, it's no comparison. Swamp Sweat all season long.
I'm all in on Swamp Sweat.
I can never wear gray shorts anywhere.
So the first topic on today's major topic list, this beautiful topic list that we have, is the FAU-Oklahoma game. You've got Lane Kiffin. You've got Lincoln Riley. You've got a great football game here. Fellas, I want to know what you guys think about FAU-Oklahoma week 1.
I mean, we all love Lane Kiffin at Student Union. He's basically like our dad, our godfather, if you would say. And I honestly want FAU to win this game more than anything. I only loved Oklahoma because of Baker Magic. I mean, he's gone now. Now we have Kyler Murray, and I think he's a dumbass for taking the deal and not going to play baseball with the A's, who right now look like they're about to win a goddamn World Series. I mean, everyone's all in on FAU this year as a group of 5 team. I don't think they're going to be that great. I mean, they have some of the keys. They don't really have everything, I think, to lock it down and beat Oklahoma, who just came off of going to the college national or football playoff. I mean, and all the keys that they have, they've lost a few key players, like obviously Baker, but Kyler Murray's still just as electric as ever. So, I mean, it's going to be a great game, but Oklahoma's going to come out and spank.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oklahoma wins it, but we got a 22-point spread. We got Lane Kiffin, who's the master of deceit, one of the best offense coordinators that's ever been to college football. He may not have the talent to really win against, elite Division I teams, but he's recruiting well for the team he has. And I think it's going to be a lot closer game than people think. Losing Baker is huge. He's, we see him in the preseason already. He's a playmaker. So, missing him, Lane Kiffin coming in with nothing to lose, I think, it's only going to be about a 2-score game. It won't be anything that you're like, oh, FAU could have won that game. Oklahoma will definitely win it handily, but we'll see how it plays out. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
And the game is in Norman, Oklahoma, correct? It's at Oklahoma?
Yeah,
at
okay.
Oklahoma.
So I think that changes a little bit. I think Kyler Murray probably has a great game. But what I'm most interested about the game to see first off, Lane Kiffin execution. He's a great play caller. I love watching Lane Kiffin call plays. Lincoln Riley is also an offensive genius. But the running back battle in this game with Devin Singletary and Rodney Anderson, 2 guys who are probably day 1, day 2 picks in the NFL draft. I think it's going to be a great running back battle. I say probably 500 yards on the ground between both teams. And it's going to be an interesting game. I think Oklahoma probably wins by a score or 2. But I do think Lane's going to keep it competitive.
I mean, I think 500 rushing yards is a little aggressive. I don't know if
That's
FAU's
insane.
front line has, even 200 yards, but to give to the rushing team against Oklahoma.
I'm saying combined between both teams, no matter the position.
I know.
I'm just saying 500 for a whole game.
I'm saying, then you're telling me Oklahoma's going to put up 300 rushing yards if FAU's offense can't put up 200?
Maybe 500. Okay, maybe 500 just for maybe. Hey, Sajme Perine, didn't he get like 400 in the game one time?
I don't even. Maybe all purpose. I don't think rushing.
Yeah, all purpose, I would think. If that was rushing, we would have heard about it a lot more.
Thanks.
The one thing I want to see is the Kyler Murray hype train. He's not going to be like the studded Heisman like Baker Mayfield was. I can't wait to see Oklahoma's expectations just plummet if he has a crappy game. I want to live for it because I like the guy. Well, I hate him because he transferred from A&M for no fucking reason. But I still think that even if he has a mediocre game, the hype train on him is going to definitely derail.
I mean, I was going to say that. Why did, there's no reason really for him to leave Texas A&M to go to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, he left. I think he left because of someone. I don't know, some bullshit like that. Him and Kyle Allen.
Yeah, so it's not like he's not the next coming, like.
No, yeah, I don't get it. He had one game, I think, last year when I wrote about him. It was against, like, the first half of Oklahoma State, and he went, like, 4 for 4 for 40 yards and like, a touchdown, which is like a 3-yard pass. So I as much as everyone hates Oklahoma fans, I just hate him even more for this Kyler Murray hype train.
Which is very understandable. Oklahoma fans like to hype things up a little too much. And Kyler Murray's also making more than his head coach this season, which is a pretty crazy stat. So that's going to be an interesting situation to see play out in Oklahoma. Next up on the topic list, though, is something Carl has, I feel like, really enjoyed watching. This is kind of his forte. It's the Gucci Berry and Damn Longneck video with the guy that weighs 500 pounds and the kid that weighs 37 pounds. I mean, what does he probably weigh? 60 pounds, 80 pounds? Like
easily, yeah.
If that.
Daddy Longneck kid, and I seen you talking all that trash about Worldstar, saying we're red and shit. So the fuck what if we red? Your music is trash. He could out fucking rap you. So what if I fucking drink that Flint water? I represent my city. I stay litty like a fucking titty.
And your music sucks, OGBY and Nehemiah, whatever your name is. I tell you what, you want to see something fucking weird? Here you go. There's a wave going on here, bitch. Yeah, there's a wave going on. Yeah.
Yeah, this he's never had a sandwich. I kind of want you guys to expand on that a little bit. I mean, it's the nastiest video maybe ever seen on the internet.
I mean, I tweeted it out. I was like, Dyfus needs to take this dad away from the kid because he's not letting the kid eat. Apparently, that was insensitive. I didn't know that they're not actually related. The kid probably has some kind of disease or eating disorder or something now that I'm learning more about it. But the kid embraces it, right? They write videos that's like, F everyone, come to Michigan, we'll F you up, like all this shit. And like, how much sympathy am I supposed to have when they're making these kind of videos and just throwing them online to go viral? Like, they're asking for this.
It's 2018, man. Everything's insensitive some way. The only things I have to say about it is the skinny kid, Damn Longneck, looks like Trevor Lawrence. So I can't wait for college football Twitter to go off on him. And the bigger guy, Gucci Bear, rocking Michigan State shorts. So I'm honestly not even close to surprised on how trailer trash he is.
So I'm actually a little interested in saying something here. I actually think it's racist to assume every white male with long hair looks alike. And I think our producer wrote an article that was specifically very racially insensitive to all white males with long hair. And
Here comes the Clemson Twitter.
I'm just saying, you want to say I look like Brad Pitt, which a lot of people do. And it's stupid. It's like they all don't look alike. I don't look like Brad Pitt. Okay, I would take Channing Tatum or Edward Norton.
Stop calling me Brad Pitt.
It gets on my nerves. People say, "Oh, Brad Pitt, oh, Channing Tatum." I'm like, shut up. I'm me. I'm Johnny. I just let me be me for a day or two, okay? But enough of that. Serious note, those kids, they have problems. A kid, whatever, he has some kind of eating disorder. That one guy's way too fat. The other guy, the Blaze guy that hangs, the whole situation, go look it up on Instagram because you find yourself an hour deep in a hole of rednecks you didn't know that existed. You really, until you see these Instagram accounts, you probably are like, no way these people exist in America. They do, and they have social media now. So that's what social media has done. It's brought to light people you didn't think actually existed. They exist. They're in Flint, Michigan, or wherever in Michigan they are in some trailer park, and they're doing what they do. So, whew.
It's insane.
Insane in the membrane. As a wise rapper in the 90s once said. And I'm not a huge gambler, so this is more based towards Carl and Andy here. But your upset and your lock of the week, I want to hear it. Give the people what they need. Let's make the people some money.
I mean, it's week one. Oh, my fault.
All you, Andy.
It's week one. I already have it pulled up right here. Week one, so the games are kind of big, kind of not. My upset of the week, and it's going to piss off Sam, one of our writers. I took Virginia Tech at 7.5 over FSU. FSU, I've never really been high on them ever since Jameis Crablegs Winston's left. Francois won the quarterback battle, but he's been hurt. He had a really big knee injury, which I can tell you from personal experience is hard to come back from. And my lock of the week is Auburn at -1.5 over Washington. I think that personally should have been the game day of the week, but we'll save it for when we talk about that a little more. But I just think that's the bigger. It's going to be a big game, and it's gonna come down to the wire.
So my upset of the week, we have Army heading to Duke. Army's a 13.5-point favorite, which means the money line could be way north of plus 300. I'm excited for this one. Army beat Duke at home last year. They're going to Duke this year. Army hasn't lost much. Duke's lost a couple players. I don't really understand why the line's so big, other than the fact that it's an ACC team versus whatever conference Army's in now. Are they American Athletic?
Independent.
They're independent now? Okay. So, yeah, I think that's I don't understand why it's a 13.5-point spread besides that fact, because Ahmed Bradshaw, the Army quarterback, he's going to run for 250 yards, probably throw for another 75 because that's the maximum you can get in a triple option. But it's going to be enough to beat Duke. My heavy favorite, that's going to, the lock of the week, Wake Forest -6. They're playing Tulane. I think it's Thursday night. This is one of those cases where the ACC merit's just going to, beat the crap out of them. Wake played Clemson really well last year, and again they have an electric quarterback. So against like a sub-tier team, they should do bad things to them. 6 is not nearly enough for them.
So the Army quarterback can do 250 yards, but when a potential Heisman candidate tries to go for 250 apiece, I seem like an idiot. Carl, I'll remember that. Thanks, man.
Because it's Army. Army runs more. I think they had 10 passes last year. That's why.
Triple option, say whatever. 7 single out there being football guys, putting their bodies on the line every single week.
You're just salty because you know we're going to be right.
Yeah, you probably will be. Moving on, though, to the Washington-Auburn game. I may not always be right. I probably won't be right here. Washington-Auburn seems like a pretty big game. How this isn't College game day, I truly don't understand. I mean, you got Stidham back for another year, who's probably going to end up being a first-round pick. And why am I blanking on Washington's quarterback's name? Jake Browning. He's a 3-year starter. Started his 4th year, I think. He started as a freshman those years ago against Alabama in the playoff game. They've got their running back, what's his name? He's Miles Gaskins. Miles Gaskins is back, and he's a 1,000-yard rusher every season for his 4th year. Washington could be a potential playoff team, as well as Auburn. So I think this matchup is super interesting. SEC Pac-12. I mean, it's probably the biggest game of the week. What do you guys have to say about it?
In terms of playoff implications, it's definitely got more merit than Michigan versus Notre Dame. I think the problem is it's a Pac-12 team versus, Auburn. Yeah, they have some support at SEC, but Pac-12 is just kind of considered a joke. Everybody right now leading up to it probably thinks the SEC team is going to beat the crap out of any mid of the pack SEC team could probably beat any Pac-12 team. So I'm surprised by the 1.5-point spread. I would think that Auburn's probably just going to beat up on Washington. They have some offense, but their defense have never really crazy impressed me. I think they've just been inflated by how bad the rest of the Pac-12 was, and just the size of the line and the speed at skill positions that Auburn has. I think they're going to kind of run away with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy offensive game. I mean, Washington has one of the best offenses in the Pac-12 year in and year out, and then you have Auburn with Stidham and all the weapons that they have. I mean, staying from the Pac-12 side, Washington's going to have a huge season, and they need to win this game if they want to make it to the playoff. Because if they get this ding on their record already off the start, it's the 2 lost teams have rarely ever gotten into the playoffs. You had Ohio State because everyone loves them with Urban Meyer and all that. But, I mean, I think Auburn's obviously going to win. There's no doubt about it. But I think if Washington can keep it a close game and it comes down to the end of the season and they win out, that might let them into the playoff, and we'll see Auburn-Washington rematch if Auburn wins the SEC. Who knows?
Yeah, I actually have seen a lot of analysts in the past week or two start picking Auburn kind of as a favorite in the SEC, so they're trending upwards apparently. Which I think Jarrett Stidham's a really good quarterback, but to be seen how good he can be. I guess, and I just want to talk about one thing before we move on. JT Daniels, the Southern Cal quarterback. Now, he got named the starter. We've talked about it before, but I think this kid has the ability to lead Southern Cal to a Pac-12 championship this year. I think he is I think he's that talented. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen coming out of high school. And that's saying a lot because I've, watched extensive Trevor Lawrence film.
Yeah, I was gonna make that my nut tap, but I'll go on it right now. I played against him in a passing tournament before because he's from SoCal. He went to Mater Dei. He's crazy athletic. I mean, he won the Gatorade National Player of the Year. He reclassified to 2018 so that way he could play this season. And he's the first true freshman since 2009 when Matt Barkley was named the starter. I mean, the kid has a hell of an arm. He may make the plays. He's not 6'5", he's not 220 like you want your average quarterback to be, but he knows how to get the ball out. He can make plays, and I think USC might be upward in the SEC or the Pac-12. They're not going to be like how they were with Sam Darnold with him being year one, but still, it's going to be crazy to see how he can make leaps and bounds for this SC team.
Yeah, I'm all in on the JT Daniels, but I think this 2018 quarterback class could end up being the best quarterback class maybe of all time coming out of high school. I mean, you got Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, JT Daniels. It's just going to be a hell of a quarterback. It's going to be really fun to see unfold. But, Andy, something you kind of want to talk about is the college agent situation in NCAA football with hiring agents in the sense of like college basketball does. You want to expand on that a little bit?
I mean, we all know NCAA is a joke. They're only for money, and you have this thing with college basketball they just did this year, or they've been doing for a while. If you don't hire an agent, you don't get drafted in the NBA draft. You can come back to school. And I don't get why we'll do that with basketball, where it's 60 players get taken, and then you have maybe around 40 to 50 more get undrafted contracts, where you have the NFL where it's 200 plus, you have 100 plus more getting signed to undrafted contracts. You have all these dumb players who think that they go early, they'll get taken, and then they drop out of college, go for NFL, nothing happens. I mean, if it's the NCAA should just be smart and let football do it. It's not going to make them more money. It's not going to do anything. I think it's just for the players' sake. If they don't get drafted, they leave their junior year. Let them come back their senior year, get a degree, still play football, and then you can see what happens. Maybe they go up in draft boards, get drafted, or they just leave after a 4-year career and go live normal lives.
No, I mean, that's exactly it. Because right now, college football is pretty much an illegal farm system that all the NFL teams have. Right? They can watch the players develop. They know which coaches that they like to draft best from because they develop them best for the way their NFL team is and whatnot. And it's a scam, and everybody's known the NCAA is a scam for a while. They have made some strides. Obviously, the basketball stuff is good. It's good to see that they acknowledge that. Okay, maybe we can have some kind of system where we let them test the waters in a professional career, and then if it doesn't work out, they can come back and finish their education, finish another season. Then they have the opportunity to, like you said, either one, explore the opportunities in the sport again, or two, finish the degree and get a job that like you and I will go get. There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to, other than the NCAA and colleges are greedy. They want to make sure that money's going to their pockets for as long as possible, and there's no reason not to do it.
And the one thing I just want to touch back on is the basketball still has the one and done rule, where they're able to play just their freshman season and leave. They need to fix that, make it just like how it is with football, 2 years and then you're able to go. Or it's the 3 years if you redshirt.
Well, why is that? No, I disagree. Why? I don't see why college football can't go one and done. Why do they have to go to any college for? Like, if you're an unbelievable athlete out of high school, you should be able to get your damn GED, go right to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like don't get rid of the one and done. I say make it one or the other. So if basketball is gonna have one and done and football is still not gonna have it, either make it one and done for football or take basketball up too, or let them go straight out of high school like Kobe Bryant and all these other players have done.
Right.
Physicality in the NFL compared to the NBA is just a little bit different. In the college basketball, your body's a little bit more prepared to play 81 games. Or you go right in, you can play those games, your stamina, you're more conditioned. High school can get you that level. Football, playing 60 minutes with those bigger body guys that have been on conditioning tests. You go into a college football program and you get on the weights they do. Those guys add 30, 40 pounds to their frames in 3 years. You become a different human in 3 years. In college basketball, you probably gain 5, 10 pounds of muscle, maybe more than that. But muscle's not really what pushes the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Those guys come in, skill out of their ass. Like, those are those skill guys in the world that can play that sport right out of high school. It's just so much different with football. In a sense, I agree that the NCAA should let the players do what they want, but it's just so much different on a physical standpoint, the NFL and the NBA, playing 3 years to go and jump straight from high school.
No, I think my point is not that players out of high school are ready to play in the NFL. It's that if the NFL wants to have a farm system where they're developing players, it shouldn't be the NCAA as their only option, right? The NFL should be funding alternatives for their own teams to develop players that they want. They shouldn't be saying, okay, we're going to watch 2 to 3 years of them playing college minimum before we have to make a decision, and that's their development. We have to develop our own players.
Yeah, and like the NBA has the G League where it's like the lower level players get to go play. NFL has a practice squad. You have 10 guys at most who get to get hit around, and that's it. That's their training. The NFL is smart, like Carl was saying, a farm system where they have like a lower league. Where I think they had it this season with Johnny Manziel was in it. I'm blanking on the name, but they kind of had that 4-game season where it shows people who were maybe not that successful in their NFL careers, or people who maybe didn't get the shot straight out of college because they weren't seen as a bigger name project or prospect. They should do something like that instead of just when the NCAA lets these guys go, boom, they're screwed. They haven't finished their career. They can't play sports anymore. And that's why most of these guys get bankrupt or they get involved and you see them getting arrested and all that stuff.
I tend to agree. I'll go arrested and stuff. I don't know what stuff means, but I'm all in on stuff. Prostitute, guys turning into prostitutes, you just don't know.
Sometimes you do stuff, you don't get arrested for it. But
you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? There was that guy for the Bears, Sam something. He's a wide receiver. He was dealing like pounds and pounds of marijuana and cocaine, and he's serving prison for a long time. But he was slinging and catching touchdowns at the same time. I mean, in the grand scheme, that's pretty impressive. He got away with it for as long as he did. But we'll lead that to the nut tap, fellas. So who wants to tap their nuts first today?
You took mine for JT Daniels, so I'll let Carl take it.
I mean, I'm heated over a little altercation I've had on Twitter lately. The backstory is when I signed up, I fought in Rough and Rowdy. In case anyone didn't know, I got a little going on. So, I announced that I was fighting and challenging a Gamecock on Twitter, and all of a sudden, this guy he's kind of like a celebrity in Clemson Tom. He reaches out to me. And he wants to get in some promo videos. He thinks it's an awesome idea, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, man, just let me know if you're ever around Clemson. We can definitely shoot a video together. Radio silence. So whatever. I followed him back after he messaged me. He didn't follow me. So whatever, I unfollow him back. A couple months go by, and I have a good tweet the other day, and Clemson Tom retweets it. So I'm like, well, maybe this guy, likes me now. I got more followers. If he wants to get my podcast, I give him a follow. Boom, still nothing. So again, like a week goes by, I see he hasn't followed me, and I don't take any followers. I don't follow back, so I unfollowed him. And a couple hours later, I get a tweet that says, "At Clemson Carl, I'll miss you." I mean, this guy, first of all, he didn't go to Clemson, right? He thinks he's a local celebrity. He never stepped foot inside a classroom at Clemson, right? He thinks he's so important to our university that he needs to chirp at students that unfollow him. You look around the university, no one likes him. Go to TigerNet, search Clemson Tom. You'll get a whole bunch of shit saying how embarrassed they are of him, how much he's a coot that dresses up in orange, all this crap. Get this guy the fuck out of my face. If I ever see him, I'm going to have a word with him.
I mean, I don't go to Clemson, so I have a single thing to do with this or anything to say. I'll just do my nut tap really quick. One of the bets I was looking up for our lock and upset, I came across the FAU-Oklahoma game, and I saw the over-under for it, and it is at 69 points.
Nice.
And I just think it's all, number one, the greatest number of all time. That's why I love when NFL linemen shoot 69. They have a great personality. And two, I mean, you have to smack the over on it. It's the nicest bet of the week. I'll call it this week. And it's just, you get to see the number 69 pop up at any time. You love it.
Lane Kiffin, 69, no brainer.
Exactly.
So my nut tap's quick and easy. It's the UFC fight coming up next weekend. It's a big fight with Darren Till and Tyron Woodley. If you haven't heard of Darren Till yet, go look up Darren Till. He's fighting out of Liverpool in England, and he moved to Brazil for a couple years. He was stabbed. He's got a great story. He's the next big superstar in the sport of mixed martial arts. Go look him up, Darren Till. He's going to win the title. Bet every single penny you have on it. They're rid of Tyron Woodley. They don't want him anymore. Go check out Darren Till immediately. Look Darren Till up. Find him.
More electric than Conor McGregor?
He's got the potential. He's a crazy dude. He is a crazy dude. He got stabbed 3 times at a party, moved to Brazil for 4 years, got a couple chicks pregnant, and now he's fighting for the title. So
that's what everyone does.
And for child support.
And you got to have money to pay for Brazilian kids.
He's got a lot on the line. I did, until you
selling some Brazilian blow.
I wasn't all in on betting on him, but just remind me before the fight because I'm gonna have to unload on him.
We're playing the fights at my house in Clemson. Carl, I hope you come through. I'd love to see you here. So, fellas, I think that's a wrap for the Cup Check episode 2. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, fellas.
See you.
Have a good one.